Welcome to the FreeNAS YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the Plex plugin and how to set it up in the FreeNAS 11.2 web interface. If you want to be more familiar with how plugins work, refer to the FreeNAS Plugins Overview video. Plex Media Server is an application that allows you to utilize your FreeNAS storage as a streaming media center for your home network. The Plex Media Server plugin is available in the FreeNAS Plugins menu. Currently, FreeNAS has Plex and Plex Pass listed in the Plugins page. We'll be demonstrating Plex, the free non-premium version that does not require a Plex Pass subscription. To learn more about Plex, visit plex.tv. Now before installing Plex, you'll need to have a storage pool and configure a dataset that will be specifically used to store Plex media files. In this example, a pool has already been created by going to Storage and then selecting Pools. To create the dataset, click the three dots on the pool you want the dataset in, and click Add Dataset. I will call my dataset Plex Media Files. For share type, I will select Windows because I intend to transfer files from a Windows PC. Now, click Advanced to expand the options for the dataset. You want to set a quota to avoid going over the storage capacity due to the large size of media files. For this example, I'll set the quota for this dataset as 500 gigabytes. When you're finished here, click Save. You should now see your dataset listed in that pool. Next, we want to create a user and a share that will be used by Plex to add and remove media files between the Plex dataset and your computer. This share will also be used as a mount point for the Plex plugin to access the media files. This account will be granted write permissions to the dataset and share used by Plex. To go ahead and create the user, click Accounts, then Users in the menu tree located in the left frame of the web interface. Click Add on the top right corner to bring up the Add User option. Enter a full name and username of your choice. I will name mine Plex User. Then enter a password for this account. Remember, this username and password is separate from your Plex.tv account and can use different variables. Leave the New Primary Group box checked, which will create a group for this user with the same name. For permissions, make sure Read, Write, and Execute are checked for owner and group. Then click Save. Your newly created user will now appear in the users list. After you've created the dataset and user, you will want to edit the permissions for the dataset. Go back over to Storage, then Pools. Expand the pool where your dataset is by clicking the arrow. Click the three dots on the right side of the dataset you created earlier and choose Edit Permissions. For the ACL type, it should be Windows, which you chose when creating the dataset earlier in this tutorial. For user, click on the drop-down list and choose the user you created earlier, Plex User. For group, choose the same, and then click Save. Now, create a share by heading over to Sharing and choosing the share of your choice. For this example, I'm going to choose Windows SMB shares. SMB is also compatible for Mac and Unix systems, although it's most commonly used for Windows. Click Add to create a share, which will take you to a new window. For path, browse to the dataset that you created earlier for Plex media files by clicking on the folder icon to expand it. Give your share a name. I'll call this Plex Share and then click Save. Make sure that the SMB service is enabled and running by going over to Services on the menu tree. On your Windows machine, open up a File Explorer and browse to your FreeNAS IP address. You should see your share listed. You can mount the share by right-clicking the one you're using for Plex and selecting Map Network Drive. Then entering the username and password you made earlier when checking Connect using different credentials. After this, click Finish. You should now see the share as a Map Network Drive in My Computer. You will now be able to add, modify, or delete any files in this share as long as you're logged in with the user you linked with the share. Now it's time to install Plex. Head over to Plugins and then choose Available. Scroll down the list to Plex Media Server. You can also find this quickly by utilizing the search bar in FreeNAS. After finding Plex Media Server in the list, click the three dots icon on the right and select Install. You will see a box pop up that says Plugin Name Plex Media Server. Now if your network is configured for DHCP, you can leave this box checked to automatically retrieve an IP address for managing the Plex plugin. Otherwise, statically assign an IP address that matches your network and won't be used by any other computer or plugin on your network. When you're finished here, click Save. Please note the plugin will take several minutes to install. After the installation finishes, you'll see a message pop up. Go ahead and copy the IP address on the bottom of the message and open another window in your browser to access the Plex management page. Confirm that Plex is working by logging in to an existing Plex account or signing up for one using the Plex management page. Once you've verified that you can log into your Plex account from the Plex management page, you'll want to temporarily stop the plugin so you can add a mount point. A mount point gives the plugin access to a specific directory in a dataset on your FreeNAS storage. In this case, we want to give the Plex plugin access to the same dataset used by the mapped Plex share. Go to the Jails tab, select the Plex plugin, and then click the three dots on the right. After doing this, click Mount Points, then Add Mount Point. Now we are in the Add Mount Point page. For the source, browse to the dataset you created earlier by clicking and expanding the folder icon. For this example, I've chosen Plex Media Files. For the destination, browse to Plex Media Server, and then type in a name to create a new folder such as FreeNAS. This will be where your media files are stored and can be accessed from the mapped share. After this, click Save. Your newly created mount point will now show up in the list. Now from your Windows computer, you can access the share again and create separate folders to organize your content. I've created separate folders for movies, TV shows, and music to use for my Plex plugin. Back on over to FreeNAS. Re-enable the plugin by going over to the Installed or Jails tab, clicking the three dots to the right of Plex, and clicking Start. Go back to the Plex management page by accessing the IP you wrote down earlier, or by going to the three dots on the installed page and clicking Management. Now we will do the initial setup for the Plex interface. Give your Plex server a name. I'll call this My Plex Server. You can disable Access Media outside My Home if you will not be using that feature. Then click Next. Now we can add folders. Click Add Library. We will start by adding movies. Add folders. Then browse Media Folders. And browse to the mount point folder you directed Plex to, which is FreeNAS. You should see the name of the folders you created on the share. Then click Add Library to finish. You may do the same for the specified folder for your other media file types. Once that is done, click Next, then click Done to go to the main Plex menu. Your Plex will be fresh without any movies or shows on it yet. Back on your Windows computer, drop some movie files into the Movies folder. Go back to Plex, refresh, or click Scan Library Files on the three dots menu next to Movies, and your movies will appear. You can repeat the steps here to add more media files should you want to add more in the future. Thanks for watching this tutorial on how to install the Plex plugin on FreeNAS. Be sure to check out the next tutorials that will show you how to configure other plugins. FreeNAS is the open source community edition of the IX Systems TrueNAS product family, a comprehensive line of powerful unified storage products for organizations of all sizes. With its Flash-based architecture, powerful ZFS file system, and award-winning support, TrueNAS systems provide secure, scalable, and flexible high-performance storage for virtually any application and budget. To learn more about the TrueNAS product family from IX Systems, visit us on the web at ixsystems.com.